One of the most important things when you are reading tarot is being able to read each card in its context. Hi, I'm Mariel Fernando. I have been a tarot reader for over 20 years, and today we are going to look into an exercise that I explained in my book, Tarot Tableau Revolution. This exercise that you will find in the pages of the book consists on asking different questions about a card so that we can understand how it works in different contexts. Let's shuffle and let's pick a card. Okay, so we have the Six of Swords. We are going to respond to different questions with the Six of Swords in its context. What behaviors does this card support? Well, we can see that this card supports the behavior of moving away when necessary, leaving a situation in which we are not safe. It is a card that supports the behavior of progressing, even if it is not always wanted. It is a card that supports the behavior of healing. It is a card that supports the behavior of removing ourselves from situations that aren't positive. What behaviors does this card warn against? Maybe it warns against jumping ships when we are in a precarious position, or when we are downgrading just out of desperation. Maybe it warns against leaving a situation without a plan B. How does this card represent a personal weakness? So as a personal weakness, this can be a card that speaks about someone that needs to be forcibly, so to speak, removed from situations, or a person that resists embarking on a healing journey, a person that resists moving out of a situation that is not good for them because maybe they have attachments that are sentimental, practical, mental, or of any other kind. How does this card describe a day? Well, if we are speaking about the day in weather, right, we can say that this is a cloudy, dull, gray day, just looking at the environment. It can also be a traveling day, a day that is spent going from one place to another, usually places that we don't want to go, because the Six of Swords does not represent a particularly wanted journey. It represents a necessary one, but not one that we necessarily want to undergo. How does this card describe a new relationship? So for a new relationship, we could say of the Six of Swords that this is a relationship that has started to maybe avoid confronting something else. Alternatively, depending on the context that surrounds the card, it can be a card that speaks of a relationship that has started after a period of healing. It is a relationship that is in its very early stages. Well, new relationship describes that. It is still not solid, because in the Six of Swords we are on the journey there, but we are not there. Now, how does this card describe a breakup? So a breakup of the Six of Swords would be the kind of breakup that you know is necessary, but that you have been trying to avoid. This is a breakup in which the person might be leaving without warning. It can be a relationship in which the person is leaving because they have to, because the environment has become unsafe, or the environment has become not agreeable to the person that's in it. How does this card describe a financial situation? Well, in a financial situation, probably this is not a card that speaks of riches. It speaks of having what's necessary to stay afloat, pretty literally, to get through the day without really being in a situation of need, but without having anything to spare either. So these are just a few of those questions, the many questions that you can ask your cards to interrogate them, to begin to see them them each in their contexts, and you can find the whole list, and there are so many more, of course, that you can come up with in Tarot Tableau Revolution.